Welcome back to the channel. Today, we are going to talk about a very interesting coin that many people might already have in their pocket change, but don't realize its potential value. In this video, we will explore the Australian 20-cent coin from the year 1981, especially the rare rust-brown colored coins that appear in low condition. We will discuss the history of the coin, its background and composition, the demand among collectors, the current market value in dollars, and some helpful tips for collectors who may want to start searching for this coin. Let's begin with the history of the Australian 20-cent coin. The 20-cent coin was first introduced in Australia in 1966, when the country switched from the old pound currency system to the decimal currency system. Since then, the coin has been an important part of everyday Australian transactions. One of the most recognizable features of this coin is the platypus design on the reverse side, which represents one of Australia's unique native animals. The obverse side features the portrait of Queen Elizabeth II, which was used on Australian coins for many decades. The 1981 Australian 20-cent coin was produced at the Royal Australian Mint in Canberra. During that time, millions of coins were minted for circulation. Because such a large number were produced, most people assume that every 1981 coin is very common. However, the interesting thing about coins is that certain varieties or unusual conditions can attract the attention of collectors. One example is the rust-brown colored version of the coin, which sometimes appears due to environmental effects or chemical reactions over time. Normally, the Australian 20-cent coin has a silver-like appearance because of the metal used in its composition. The coin is made from cupronickel, which is an alloy consisting of 75% copper and 25% nickel. This composition gives the coin durability and a bright metallic look. However, when the copper content reacts with moisture, soil, or other environmental conditions over many years, the surface can develop a brown or rusty tone. While this change is technically considered damage or heavy toning, it often makes the coin stand out visually and creates curiosity among collectors. Another interesting aspect is what collectors call the background or field of the coin. On well-preserved coins, the background looks smooth and shiny, allowing the platypus design and lettering to stand out clearly. But in low-condition coins that have circulated for many years, the background can appear worn, darker, and sometimes uneven. Even so, many collectors enjoy studying these coins because they show the history of circulation and real-world use. Every scratch and color change tells a story of how the coin traveled through the economy. The condition of a coin always plays a major role in determining its value. A coin described as low condition usually means it has heavy wear, scratches, discoloration, or other signs of long circulation. For many rare coins, a low condition would significantly reduce the value compared to a mint or uncirculated example. However, collectors often look for unusual colors or patterns even on worn coins. A rust-brown toned 1981 Australian 20-cent coin may attract attention simply because it looks different from the typical silver appearance. Now let's talk about collector demand. Coin collectors all over the world enjoy searching for unusual variations and interesting toning patterns. Even though the 1981 Australian 20-cent coin itself is not extremely rare, the visual appearance of rust-brown toning can make a coin unique. Some collectors specifically enjoy toned coins because each one is different. The color may range from light brown to deep chocolate shades, and sometimes the toning creates beautiful patterns across the surface. When we talk about the current market value of a 1981 Australian 20-cent rust-brown coin in low condition, the value can vary depending on the collector's interest and the coin's appearance. In most cases, a regular circulated 1981 20-cent coin is worth about its which is 20 Australian cents. However, if the coin has interesting toning or a unique rust-brown color that attracts collectors, it might sell for around $1.48,000 to $1.75,000 in online markets. In some cases, if the toning looks especially unusual or appealing, collectors might pay slightly more. It is important to remember that coin prices can change over time, depending on collector interest, rarity, and overall market trends. A coin that sells for a few dollars today might gain more attention in the future if collectors begin to focus on toned coins from this period. This is one of the exciting aspects of coin collecting, because even small coins can hold surprising value. For collectors who want to search for coins like this, there are some helpful tips to keep in mind. One of the best ways to start is simply by checking the coins you receive in everyday change. Sometimes rare or interesting coins appear in the most unexpected places. It is also helpful to store coins properly in protective holders or coin albums so that their condition does not worsen over time. Another good practice is to compare your coins with examples sold on trusted coin marketplaces or auction sites. This can give you a better idea of real market prices and collector demand. Taking clear photos of your coins is also helpful if you plan to share them with other collectors or sell them online. Coin collecting is not only about money. It is also about history, discovery, and the excitement of finding something unusual. Even a small coin like the 1,981 Australian 20-cent piece can become an interesting collectible when it develops unique colors or shows signs of decades of circulation. As we come to the conclusion of today's video, the Australian 20-cent coin from 1981 may appear ordinary at first glance, but coins with rust-brown toning in low condition can still capture the attention of collectors. While the market value of such coins is usually modest, they represent a fascinating part of numismatic exploration. Every coin carries a story, and sometimes those stories are hidden in the color, wear, and journey the coin has taken through time. Next up, today we are going to talk about a very interesting coin that many collectors around the world love to search for, and that is the 1967 Australian 20-cent coin in very fine condition. If you enjoy coin collecting, rare coins, or simply want to know the value of coins that might be hiding in your collection, then this video is going to be very exciting for you. The 1967 Australian 20-cent coin may look common at first glance, but when we talk about its history, condition, and collector demand, its story becomes much more fascinating. The Australian 20-cent coin was first introduced in 1966, when Australia changed its currency system from pounds and shillings to decimal currency. This was a very important moment in Australia's monetary history. The following year, in 1967, the Royal Australian Mint continued producing the 20-cent coin as part of the new decimal series. Because it was only the second year of production, many collectors today find the 1967 issue quite interesting, especially when the coin has been preserved in better condition. The design of this coin represents Australia's natural beauty and national identity. On the reverse side of the coin, you can see the famous platypus swimming through water, a unique animal that is native to Australia. The design was created by Stuart Devlin, and it quickly became one of the most recognizable coin designs in the country. On the obverse side of the coin, you will find the portrait of Queen Elizabeth II, which was designed by Arnold Machin. This portrait was used on many Commonwealth coins during that time period. When collectors look at the 1967 20-cent coin today, they are not only looking at a piece of metal, but also a piece of history from the early days of Australia's decimal currency system. Now let's talk about the background and composition of this coin. The Australian 20-cent coin from 1967 was minted using cupronickel, which is a mixture of 75% copper and 25% nickel. This composition makes the coin strong and resistant to wear, which is one reason why many examples still survive today. The coin has a distinctive scalloped edge with 12 curves, making it very easy to recognize even by touch. It has a diameter of about and a weight of around. These specifications were carefully designed to make the coin durable for everyday circulation while still maintaining an attractive appearance. Even though millions of these coins were produced, the condition of the coin plays a very important role in its value today. When collectors describe a coin as being in very fine condition, it means the coin has seen some circulation, but still retains many of its original design details. In a very fine example of the 1967 20-cent coin, the platypus design will still be clearly visible, the water ripples will be defined, and the portrait of Queen Elizabeth II will still show noticeable detail in the hair and facial features. There may be some light wear on the highest parts of the design, but overall the coin remains attractive and collectible. Condition is extremely important in the world of coin collecting. Two coins from the same year can have completely different values, depending on how well they have been preserved. A coin that has heavy scratches, corrosion, or severe wear will usually be worth only its face value. But a coin in very fine condition can attract collectors who are building quality sets of Australian decimal coins. Another important factor to consider is collector demand. Around the world, there is a growing community of collectors who specialize in Australian coins. Many of them aim to complete full-date sets of the Australian 20-cent series, starting from the first years of decimal currency in the 1960s. Because the 1967 coin is part of the early decimal years, it naturally receives attention from collectors who want their sets to include coins in attractive condition. Even though it is not considered an extremely rare coin, the demand for well-preserved examples continues to remain steady. Collectors also appreciate this coin for its beautiful design. The platypus is one of the most iconic animals in Australia, and seeing it featured on a circulating coin makes it very appealing to both local and international collectors. Over time, coins that represent national culture and wildlife often become more desirable among collectors who enjoy the artistic and historical aspects of numismatics. Now let's talk about the current market value of the 1967 Australian 20-cent coin in very fine condition. In today's collector market, the value can vary depending on the exact condition, the brightness of the metal, and whether the coin has been professionally graded. On average, a 1967 20-cent coin in very fine condition may sell for around $2, $30,000 to $2, 48,000 Australian dollars. If the coin is in extremely fine or almost uncirculated condition, the price can sometimes rise to $10 or even slightly more depending on collector interest. While this might not sound like a huge amount, it is still a good example of how a small everyday coin can gain extra value when it is preserved well and appreciated by collectors. Another interesting aspect of coin collecting is that market values can slowly change over time. As more people become interested in collecting Australian decimal coins, coins from the early years, like 1967, may gradually become harder to find in better condition. This is why many collectors enjoy searching through old coin jars, collections, or inherited coins, because sometimes they discover pieces that are more valuable than they expected. For collectors who are interested in coins like the 1967 Australian 20-cent piece, there are some helpful tips that can make the collecting experience more enjoyable. One of the most important things is to always handle coins carefully. It is best to hold coins by their edges, rather than touching the surfaces, because fingerprints can slowly affect the metal over time. Storing coins in protective holders, albums, or capsules can also help preserve their condition for many years. Another useful tip is to learn about coin grading and how different conditions affect value. The more you understand about grading terms such as very fine, extremely fine, and uncirculated, the easier it becomes to recognize valuable coins in your collection. Many collectors also enjoy using magnifying glasses or coin loops to study the details of a coin's design. Coin collecting is not only about money or value, it is also about history, culture, and the excitement of discovery. A simple coin like the 1967 Australian 20-cent piece reminds us of the moment when Australia entered the era of decimal currency and began a new chapter in its monetary history. Every coin carries a story, and when collectors hold these pieces in their hands, they are holding a small part of that story. In conclusion, the 1967 Australian 20-cent coin in very fine condition is a wonderful collectible that represents the early years of Australia's decimal coinage. Its strong cupronickel composition, distinctive scalloped shape, and beautiful platypus design make it one of the most recognizable coins in the country. While the coin may not be extremely rare, its historical significance and steady collector demand give it a respectable value in today's market. For collectors, finding a well-preserved example can be both rewarding and enjoyable. Next up, Today, we are going to talk about a very interesting coin from Australia that many collectors and coin enthusiasts love to discuss. This is the 2009 Australian 20-cent coin, and we will explore its history, its condition and composition, the demand among collectors, and most importantly, its possible market value today. If you enjoy learning about rare coins and hidden treasures that might even be sitting in your pocket change, then stay with me until the end of the video. The 2009 Australian 20-cent coin is part of Australia's decimal coinage system, which was introduced in 1966, when Australia changed from pounds and shillings to dollars and cents. The 20-cent coin quickly became one of the most commonly used coins in everyday transactions. Over the years, many versions of the 20-cent coin have been produced by the Royal Australian Mint, and each year collectors carefully study the details of these coins. The 2009 version follows the traditional design that Australians have been familiar with for many years. On the obverse side of the coin, you will find the portrait of Queen Elizabeth II, which was designed by artist Ian Rank Broadley. This portrait was used on many Australian coins during that period. The reverse side of the coin shows the famous platypus design, created by artist Stuart Devlin. The platypus is a unique animal native to Australia, and it has been featured on the 20-cent coin since the beginning of the decimal currency system. Now let's talk about the physical background and composition of the coin. The Australian 20-cent coin is made from cupronickel, which is an alloy consisting of about 75% copper and 25% nickel. This composition gives the coin its silver-like color and strong durability. The coin weighs around 11.31 grams and has a diameter of about 28.65 millimeters. Its edge is smooth, which is another recognizable feature. Because of this strong metal composition, many of these coins remain in decent condition even after years of circulation. When collectors talk about coins, one of the most important factors they consider is the condition. The coin we are discussing today is described as being in fine condition. In the world of coin collecting, a fine condition coin usually means the coin has been circulated, but still retains most of its major design details. You may see some wear on the platypus or the portrait of Queen Elizabeth II, but the overall design is still clear and readable. Coins in fine condition are quite popular among collectors who want historic coins at an affordable price. Now let's move to something that excites collectors the most, which is collector demand. The demand for the 2009 Australian 20-cent coin comes from several factors. First, Australian coins are widely collected not only in Australia, but also internationally. Many people collect coins from different countries as a hobby, and Australian wildlife designs make these coins especially attractive. The platypus design gives the coin a unique identity that collectors appreciate. Another reason for the interest in the 2009 coin is that collectors often build year-by-year collections of Australian decimal coins. When someone is trying to complete a full set, every year becomes important, including 2009. Even if the coin itself is not extremely rare, it still holds value as part of a complete collection. Some collectors also carefully check these coins for possible mint errors or unusual varieties. Occasionally, coins with small minting mistakes can become more valuable than normal versions. Because of this, many collectors search through circulated coins hoping to discover something special. Now let's talk about the current market value of the 2009 Australian 20-cent coin in fine condition. In general circulation condition, most 2009 Australian 20-cent coins are still quite common, which means their value is usually close to their face value. However, in the collector's market, a coin in fine condition may sell for around $1.30, 0 to $1.75, 0 Australian dollars, depending on the exact quality and buyer interest. If the coin is in very fine or uncirculated condition, the value could be higher, sometimes reaching $5 or more. For collectors who are interested in coins like this, there are a few helpful tips to keep in mind. One of the best habits is to always check your change. Many valuable or collectible coins are discovered simply by paying attention to everyday pocket coins. Another good idea is to store coins in protective holders or coin albums. This helps preserve the condition of the coin and prevents scratches or corrosion. Learning about coin grading is also very useful. The better you understand coin conditions, such as fine, very fine, and uncirculated, the easier it becomes to estimate the value of a coin. Collectors often compare their coins with reference images or consult coin catalogs to learn more about rarity and value. Connecting with other collectors can also be a wonderful experience. Many collectors share knowledge through online communities, coin shows, and hobby clubs. By discussing coins with experienced collectors, you can gain valuable insights and maybe even discover new coins to add to your collection. As we come to the end of today's video, the 2009 Australian 20-cent coin may not be one of the rarest coins in the world, but it is still a fascinating piece of Australia's currency history. Its beautiful platypus design, durable cupro-nickel composition, and role in everyday transactions make it an interesting coin for collectors and hobbyists. In fine condition, it can have a small but meaningful collector value, and for many people, the real joy comes from the thrill of searching and discovering coins like this. Coin collecting is not only about money, it is also about history, culture, and the excitement of finding something special in the most ordinary places. So the next time you receive a coin in your change, take a closer look. You never know what interesting story or hidden value it might hold.